So give it up for Mitel to start with.
My name is Laura Buttimer. I'm the National Channel Manager at Mitel that manages the TCG partnership, which we greatly value, and thank you for having me here. Unique to Mitel, we've been in the business almost 50 years. We started in the PBX space, and then as we grew, our CEO at the time saw where data was going to the cloud, and about 10 years ago, we went to VMware and said, hey, help us decouple the software from the hardware so we can go to the market with a cloud product that is provisioned properly. And so that's what we did, and that was the start of our cloud path. So here we are, another 10 years later, and Mitel is a top player in the cloud space.
Yeah, I always think of Mitel being one of the old stalwarts in the whole, Prem PBX-based systems. And you've been around, seemed like forever, as you mentioned a minute ago. And maybe talk about why did you guys decide to go down the cloud path? Because you were one of the first early adopters of cloud, especially for some of the big Prem type providers when you think of some of the others out there. So why did you guys decide to make the pivot? And I think that's really where you're dominating in this space now. So maybe talk about that a little bit.
Sure. We saw where the market was heading, and that as data was moving to the cloud, voice was going to be the natural next step. So having been in the business as long as we have been and having a huge base of on-site customers, we really needed to have a migration path for them to get them over to the cloud. So the beauty is we can help them make a full migration to full cloud, or if hybrid is the right solution, we can accommodate that as well. So we've really got the product line to suit every customer's needs.
Good. And maybe talk about, why cloud is special to you guys. Why do you think most customers are moving towards the cloud from your perspective?
Going back to having that cloud strategy, as they move their data, voice is the next progression. So when you're meeting with an IT leader, and oftentimes, as we've seen over the years with convergence, IT leaders maybe didn't necessarily deal with voice. So now they're inheriting that with convergence. And when you're talking about our cloud product that's housed in the GCP, the Google Cloud Platform, now we're speaking their language. We have a product that, where MyCloud Connect sits in the GCP. It's sitting right in the same place as Gmail, Google Maps, so you've got the safety, security, stability. That really resonates with an IT leader. So I feel like we're talking IT language when talking about voice solutions with a customer.
Yes, you're a Google girl, it sounds like, so at least you go down that path. What, just out of curiosity, if I'm a sales partner sitting here, maybe a question or two that you think would help these guys here uncover opportunities moving forward that might be an ideal fit for Mitel.
Your first question is, what is their cloud strategy? How much have they moved to data to the cloud? If they've moved the bulk of their business to the cloud, they're probably very, very comfortable. If they're new to it, they might be a little apprehensive. It might be a harder sale, not an impossible sale, but that's a new product set. So that's the first thing I'd want to know is what is their data strategy? How much have they already moved to the cloud today? Asking them about Google Cloud Platform. If they have moved to the cloud, how much of that is Google? The top three, AWS, Google, Azure, most likely if the customer has migrated over, they have familiarity or at least some type of business within the space. So that's where I would start my conversation.
Good. And last but not least, I know you guys do not only UCaaS, but you get into contact center and other areas like that. Maybe spend a minute or so just on some other areas that you guys also prosper in and maybe some ways that they should think about Mitel in those spaces too.
Sure, absolutely. The beauty of the product, it scales. Our sweet spot I'd say is in the 50 to 500 range, but because we scale, I can go as low as a 5-seat solution, all the way up to, I have a customer with 15,000 seats, just added another 1,000, just put in an order for another 1,000. So talk about scalability, right? If you name a vertical, Mitel is in it. Yeah. Whether it's retail, manufacturing, financing, legal, you name it, we're in it. But I think a real sweet spot also is in the nonprofit space. So we have had the exclusive relationship with Sourcewell, who is a buying consortium for nonprofits. So anything, if it's a city or county government, K through 12, higher education, nonprofit healthcare, anyone that qualifies for nonprofit, we are the exclusive provider on Sourcewell. So that gives deep discounts to those customers that can buy like the big guys while protecting commission and margin for our agents. So,
Yeah, so I'm hearing some interesting things. I mean, you think of Mitel being this huge corporation, but yet you can go down to 5 seats all the way up, obviously, to the huge corporation. So it's not just, you know, kind of your dad's Mitel that you think of this huge corporation that you can't, you know, engage on smaller opportunities as well then. So.
Absolutely, small business to enterprise, we've got it covered. Additionally, it's not just for voice communication, it's contact center.
Yeah.
We can do the same thing. So small business contact center solutions that are very simple and cost effective, as well as to full-blown enterprise solutions.
Cool, well, sounds great. Well, listen, give it up for Laura at Mitel.
Thank you
And
for
I appreciate
having
you
me.
being here, absolutely.